Hey Marie, how are you?
Hi, Elisa. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I am excited to be talking about this topic because this is something that I actually wrote a book about. I have not published it, but it's something that I feel I know I researched, I guess. And so really interesting to see what the cards have to say about this information. So just excited and about it because I know it's important to people. I
Mm.
know it affects a lot of people. So and for everybody who's here with us, starting with the broadcast, thank you so much for being here and for joining us. We truly appreciate it. So Okay, so before we start today, we decided that we would do just a really simple um, breathing exercise, right? Because breathing brings you into the now moment, and breathing is for um, oxygenating the blood and just kind of coming into the now moment. So, if you guys will now take a 3 deep breaths, we're just going to do 3 deep breaths. So um, starting with the inhale, hold, exhale for longer than you inhale. So I'll count for the next one. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now breathe again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wonderful. Okay, so I hope that helped you guys kind of center, kind of take away all the whatever's been going on in your day today so that you can stay present in the now moment with us. So I'll give you a little bit of background with this. And before I do, Marie, how is Jasper?
Jasper's here. He's happy. He's excited as well, actually. So he's just saying, yeah, there's going to be stuff coming through. So for anyone that hasn't met Jasper, he's a beautiful clear quartz crystal skull with some jasper running through him. And he's actually told me the beings that come through, they come from very deep in the cosmos. So I sometimes just get a lot more pictures and information coming through from them. So that's my friend Jasper.
Thank you. Okay, awesome. So, so uh, back in the day, my gosh, 2, 3 years ago, I had someone come to see me, and she during the session we saw that she had been abducted, and she felt um, that she had a hybrid child because when she had been abducted, she saw herself like in a vat of gel during the session. And all she could see was this little 4 year old looking at her, telling her, "You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right." And she recognized that little girl as the daughter that she thought she had. It was a hybrid child. And ever since that happened, I was like, oh, I need to find out more about this. This is interesting. So as I started in my journey and having more and more clients come in, I decided I wanted to write a book about it. And I wanted to understand if these women were, first of all, was it a life contract? Did they agree to it? Or was this something that they had not agreed to do and it was done against their will? Because what I noticed is that in some of the abduction sessions, the government was involved as well. So I wanted to see, is it the good guys? Is it the bad guys? Is it the government?
Okay.
And so that kind of sent me into that journey of understanding and really figuring out what's happening with these women and how is this happening. So I went ahead and asked for some volunteers, and in exchange for using their information in the book. And so that's kind of when I started getting into this. And so what I found, what the information that I found during the sessions was that it was both agreed to ahead of time and not agreed to ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, first of all, if that's the case.
Yeah. So I've just been pulling cards as you were talking as well, and the first one that came up. So this one is our Eight of Swords, and this is where it's like the person's blindfolded. So there's an aspect that they didn't see it was going to be like. So yes, I agree. It's actually been, it's like they're in a cage. So there would have been, like you said, some agreement, but now they're going, well, I don't remember this and I don't want this. And so this is where that dichotomy, that real imbalance comes in. So they're sort of, they feel very bound by something that they don't want anymore. However, then this Nine of Cups came up, and this is always around something that the soul has actually wished for or desired or agreed to. And yeah, as much, and then of course we come into our earthly form and we forget everything. And so it's it can be really hard. And the question you were talking about, the government and all the other things that went on, they're all a major part of it, because this one here, so this is our Seven of Cups, and it's often to me, this is often around trauma. This is often around things that are going on that aren't quite conducive to a great outcome. However, it's all part of it. So yeah, and then the one that came up when you were talking about they sort of do want it, but they don't want it, is our Three of Swords. And you can see this is something that is quite hard on the heart, and it's quite a difficult experience to go through as a human. And this is often why it's like they don't remember. People don't remember as well. So because how much can we cope with as a human, with these sort of scenarios? So exactly what you were just saying is what's been confirmed in our cards as well. So yeah. So because every time you were talking, I was going, oh wow, it was like coming up.
So. Okay, so it kind of validates what I was finding through the process. So can we ask if when the women agreed to this before they came into the incarnation, did they agree to the ones that were not the good guys?
Okay.
I mean, is it possible for this to happen to someone if they have not agreed to it before they incarnated? Is that possible? An accident, like accidental, like
did it happen? Interesting. Okay, I'm going to do one more. We'll do the three. Yeah. Okay. So the first card that came up for us is our Seven of Wands. So that's, to me, that's a battle that is going on. However, it's not a fierce battle sort of thing. So it is something that has been agreed to. And then it was really interesting because the Sun came up. Now, when this card comes up, to me, this is around inner child. This is around energy being transformed into a higher frequency. So the experience is definitely one that has been agreed to. And okay, so if they're creating these hybrid, children or whatever, also that other aspect that other aspect of the soul, or what has to have agreed to it as well. So the agreement is from both sides. And, when that 7 of Cups came up, that was the trauma. Sometimes it can get taken too far, and that's when things need to be stepped back. But there is actually agreement on both sides. So
okay, so let me ask you this. Can somebody be tricked into agreeing before they incarnate? So what I've noticed is, and I've been pulling people from the matrix, the reincarnation matrix, right? And these people, this was an actual system, an actual computer program that was put into our matrix so that people were recycled. So when we say they are agreeing, are they agreeing in the reincarnation cycle where they are coerced into agreeing?
really
That's
good
different.
question. Yeah, it is different. And I mean, there's still, always a higher power that's watching, but you're right. When you're in this video game in that matrix, okay, really good question. Let's find out, see what comes through. Okay. Yeah, okay. One more. Yeah, so the first one that came up is our 9 of Pentacles. So this is something that's being created, and whether it's within a matrix or a higher power, it's actually still okay. It's like, because something's being created. So then the next one is the Hermit. So to me, yeah, this is people can be tricked, I guess, at this level. So depending if it's in the matrix, then the frequency isn't as high as if we've gone through to higher echelons. So this is where words or not knowing the full contract or whatever can actually come into play. Yeah, definitely. However, it always will work out. And this is the other aspect that's coming through. So there'll always be a victory of some sort through it. So there's balance. So if it's imbalanced because they've been tricked or whatever, they learn. That soul goes, whoa, okay, now I've got it. Now I have to read the fine print. So it's almost like learning through the actual the layers again. So, and when the matrix was here, it was really difficult because it was just so difficult to increase our frequency, whereas now, as we know, it's just increasing so quickly. So it all ends up okay in the end. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
So how can we reconcile the fact that some of these children end up as slaves, right? In the slavery trade, in the slave trade and all that. So how does the universe want to explain to us how we can come to acceptance of this, of the children that are not used for good purposes?
Okay. Oh, again, okay. I'll do 2 more, but yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm pulling these cards. Again. Okay. You can't make this stuff up. So the first card that came up again was our Sun. So it is, again, it's a contract. It's something that the soul's going through, and it's horrific when we look at what they're being used for and everything else that goes with it. But at the end of the day, the next one that came through as well was our 5 of Pentacles. It's karmic. So the people that are doing this, they're choosing to, and they're going to, karma's a bitch, and she's going to bite them on the ass. So to me, they're going to actually feel everything they've done, because that's how it works. So you're
saying this could be like the let's say the bad reptilians who enslaved the children are now coming in as the children being enslaved.
Exactly. So it can be very karmic. And again, I'm getting goosebumps with this. And then, of course, we have this one as well. So what goes around comes around, and it's all still hidden. And yeah. And, you know, it's things we don't know, that much higher power that's in charge of everything as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's why I ask these questions, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of people who um where this is so hard to take in, you know, but it's makes sense that the karma, I had never thought about that, right? About the karma and how that could be the reason why.
And the other thing that's coming through too with this card is some souls choose to experience it for the growth and the expansion, and to give these guys that are with the karma that are doing it, give them an opportunity to say, I'm actually not going to do this. So it can then increase exponentially the expansion of that consciousness between both. So yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more going on with those laws that are always in play, the universal laws as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I have seen that these children often, I don't want to say often, the people that I saw, okay, the clients that I saw, that these children actually stay with their mothers in a way where they can actually see through the mother's eyes. They actually watch what the mother is doing. They can connect with the mother. So I wanted to confirm that.
Okay, let's have a look and see. Yes, straight up. And the sword is the mind, and actually it's telepathy, and we all have that ability, and we're all so connected. And so, iPhones, all these different ways of us talking to people, communicating, we can actually do it through our telepathy. And it's like, because for example, I was fostering a mother cat, and they'd taken the kittens away, and I was crying because I was heartbroken because she was looking for them. And then I talked to her. I went in and I talked with her. She went, "It's okay. I still see them. I connect with them." So exactly what you're saying. And I'm getting goosebumps again. So this is real, for me, validation that absolutely, yes. And we can all do that. It's so definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. And I imagine that this is going to be something that that is also an agreement, I guess, since everything is an agreement, right?
Do you want me to just check on that?
I mean, I don't want to assume.
No, let's just check and see. Yeah, and so the High Priestess, so this is also about things that are hidden, mysteries that are hidden. So yes, it does happen, but there's things that we don't know yet. There's unseen factors that we're actually going to remember. So yeah, and like I said, yes, we can definitely do that as well. So I mean, I know I do it a lot with friends. Even I'll go, "Oh, I know what they're doing. They're going to be 5 minutes late. No worries." Just see it all and connect in with them. And we can all do that. It's just been hidden from us. But once we remember those gifts, definitely, yeah. And of course, if that beautiful child that's, different DNA and hybrid, if they would actually have that consciousness where they can automatically use their telepathy, their heart to connect in as well, because that's where a lot of this comes from, is going back to our hearts.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the hybrid children that are out there, are they still being used as slaves, at least in our galaxy, I guess, let's say?
Okay, yep. The first card that came up was Judgment. So yeah, there is still going on some of that behavior and that whatever. But it's coming out. This is the thing. It's actually changing. And the next card that came up was the Ten of Pentacles. So to me, that's something that's actually manifested and it's positive. So things are changing. Like the Judgment card is like, yeah, this is actually really getting looked at, changed up, because as our frequency here on Earth increases, so does the frequency in the galaxy. We have so much, we don't realize how powerful we are here. So our increase in positivity, our increase in what we visualize, what we do, is going to actually bring about this happening, the Judgment coming through. So
Okay. Very good. So are the children that are being rescued right now from Earth, are they able to go back into society? Obviously not Earth society, but are they able to go into society wherever they are? Are they coping, or are they so far gone that?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So we're just checking in to see, I guess, what's the outcome for them? What's the, what happens for them? What happens to the society they go into? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One more. Yeah, beautiful. So the first one that came up again, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. Judgment card. So again, it's the children. You can see the children down here in the boats and the angels there heralding. So they will be taken to where they need to go as well. And then again, it's the Nine of Pentacles. So this is actually creation, and it's creating from our heart and our mind. So wherever they go to live, it's actually going to expand those societies as well. Now, of course, they have to be open-minded, open-hearted enough, and of a high enough frequency to not have judgment on those beautiful creations. So that's going to expand them as well. They're going to learn from this, and it's what it's all about. So, and then the Strength card came up. So it's actually making every being in the situation stronger through this. So, and that infinity sign standing out at the crown. So I feel this is actually bringing through higher frequency, enabling people to actually connect more as well, going through this experience. Yeah.
Well, I always think about this. If there aren't homeless people, how can we have a mission to help the homeless, right? So it all comes down to the same idea. If you want to know what it's like to rescue a child that has been abused in some way, the child has to exist for the experience to happen. So it's like the yin and the yang. You got to have the good with the bad, because it's the only way we grow. And I've been telling people, this V thing that's going around, that they're asking people to, do the thing in the arm thing, without it, we couldn't ascend. This, we have to be, and I hate to say this, but we have to be thankful, because we created this so that we could ascend. There had to be some type of meltdown. There had to be some catalyst for humanity to be able to grow and to ascend. And without the V word, and without the other V word that goes in the arm, we wouldn't have the ability or the opportunity to go through the challenges that we're going through.
And Elisa, it's so true. And, I was getting quite angry and resentful to our leaders, great leaders. And one of my friends really brought something to my attention, and she said, Maree, what if they've come in as masters? What if they've come in and are holding that and doing that role and have chosen as a soul to come in and be the bad guy so we can all ascend? Oh, again, goosebumps when I get this truth. And I went, and it just took this weight off me. It was like, oh my goodness, they're doing exactly what they're meant to be doing.
Absolutely.
So, it was, and that just helped me flip my whole way of being. And it's like, I can let go of this. It's not my job to do this. Yes, I can, go and do marches or whatever I want to do, but it's not my job to change the world. It's not my job to worry what their role is. So that really helped me. So that might help others that are watching.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really,
absolutely.
So, and interestingly enough, it was the Four of Swords that came up. So this is definitely hidden things, a situation that hasn't yet been revealed, and definitely mind. And then the Chariot. So man, is something going to move pretty soon. So, and the Chariot also is around forces at play energetically, spiritually, and bringing them into consciousness. It can also be hidden, like not knowing which way we're going to go. And then the Wheel of Fortune. So it's things can turn, things can change. Again, if I look at this card, what stood out straight away, wow, was the eagle at the top. And to me, an eagle is having a different perspective and also raising consciousness. It's divine will. So everything's being done in divine will. So nice to have that confirmation, isn't it, when you're looking at these situations? So
Yeah, absolutely. And something that the Pleiadians are always saying, like the ninth dimensional ones, not the fifth dimensional ones that are included into the conflict, but the ninth dimensional Pleiadians always say, what you pay attention to, what you judge, you literally bring into your existence. So by people paying attention to both the V word and the other V word and having negative judgment against it, they're going to bring it into their experience. And I did that myself. I learned the lesson. My daughter got the thing in the arm, and that's when I was like, oh my God, all along I've been really judging this. And now I've stepped back and I've realized without it, where would we be? There's no ascension. So
absolutely.
yeah, so it's just, it's a hard pill to swallow.
And it is, okay.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And again, when we talk about souls and soul contracts, that's everyone's soul contract and it's perfect. And
It
like you
is.
say, it's really hard to step back and not judge, but just go into that grace. And that's why the Empress has just come up. So this is, to me, when the Empress comes up, it means that something again is shifting and it's beautiful. But it's got a fertility time, so it's a short period of time. It's going to be quite quick, So yeah. So again, things are moving very quickly, but it's like a pregnancy. It's like once the baby's out, hey, it's done. Here it is.
Yeah.
So
And so I wanted to bring up this question because it goes with what you're saying. So is killing people part of the awakening? Are those clones?
okay.
And so let's ask, but that's what we're saying, right? We're saying that it is part of the awakening. It is,
Yeah.
it is an agreement that these people's higher self have made.
Yeah.
But I like the question on the clones. So I don't know if you wanna
Yeah,
throw
sure.
cards on both or just one.
We'll do one at a time, I think I'm getting.
Okay.
So let's
Yep.
just okay. So is killing people part of
Part
the
of the
awakening?
awakening.
So what we'll say is, yeah. Hang on. Again, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is wherever they're meant to be going, whatever they're meant to be doing. Yeah, it is. And again, these souls have agreed to do this. So who knows? Maybe let's find out. Maybe their role is to help us from the other side because they go in with this. And this is such a unique experience on earth that we're going through.
Yeah.
So they have this experience and they have all that wisdom in their soul and that memory, everything's in them. So they take that wisdom with them to the other side. And, are they helping us from there and helping this to go quicker?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got the Three of Wands. And to me, this is definitely looking out over the distance, over a different perspective, but it's very stable. It's very, yeah, it's definitely got that potential. So they're actually doing work from the other side. So Death card, yeah. So this is, and they knew this. So, and that was their soul contract. So let's check to see if they're clones now. Okay, so with that question, are they clones? I'm going to take that as the people that are actually leaving the earth plane from, okay, so, and it may be that they are what we call NCPs or non-commissioned players or backdrop. Some of them could be backdrop people, but, and let's find out if some of them are actually active souls like star seeds and things too.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, first one. One more.
There we go.
Yeah, so first one, don't laugh. First one that came up again was this Four of Swords. So a lot's hidden. So yeah, look, there could very well be, whether they're, what I'm getting is whether they're clones or whether they are like a backdrop person. So you can sort of correlate the two in a way. But yeah, there's definitely a lot hidden, a lot going on that hasn't been revealed around that. So, and my feeling is, looking at this, is that there could be a lot of backdrop people that are doing this.
If that's what's coming up, that's like their way of, they're not going to say yes, but that's the way of the universe going yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and look what we've got again. So you know, this Judgment card has come up again. So things, we don't, maybe it's for us to not judge it as being a really bad thing if that soul chooses to do that, because, and here we've got our beautiful Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of work going on, like we were talking about in the on the other side. They're actually creating things, and the 8 to me is also quite a divine number because it's infinity. So it's like a cycle. So we don't really die anyway per se, do we? We simply move form. So there is a lot of work definitely going on. So yeah. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So going back to the hybridization program, does anything come to mind for you? Any questions?
Yeah. I guess it's also, are we all hybrids? Like, because, you know, Earth is such a melting pot of different, like, DNA or whatever it is. And, you know, so, yeah, are we actually part of this program just by being here? So I'd really like to ask that, because I haven't actually asked that with the cards. So
no, that's a great way to, a great place to take this. I had not thought about it because I was told I'm a hybrid. So
yeah, but we all
and
are.
I didn't even think about it.
No, it's right. Well, you know, because when the Earth was being formed, it was all done through ethereal energy and then, you know, frequency. And so there was Pleiadians, as we were talking about before. There's Syrian energy. There's so much different energy. And so, you know, that, we're bits and bobs. We're let's have a look and see if that's actually right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Jasper's piping in now too.
Jasper?
Yeah, he's going, oh, if only you could see it from the perspective of all the other planets that, you know, help create Earth. Oh, the love that's coming through is incredible. The love of that us and us as creations through multiverses, literally. So yeah, the first one that came up is a 6 of Pentacles. So that's definitely creating something. And it's like he's throwing coins down, but to me it felt like gold. So it's like we are these just gold gems to all of our creator, our beautiful creator, and then all the aspects of the other creators that have come into us. And the 6, you know, is making a beautiful creation. And then the next one is the Ace of Swords. So to me, that's an absolute yes. So we've got the sword, the crown, and we were almost created, brought into existence through the process of creating. And we do that through our heart and our mind. And yeah, that's how it works. And then I love this one. We've got our 10 of Pentacles. So it's completion, it's finalization, to me, I love it when I get this card because it means, everything's okay. So, and this is what we were talking about before. Remember that we're the 6 atom, Cadman body. So they've got the DNA right. So our our DNA and our hybridization has worked.
So what percentage of us are hybrids?
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so what I'm getting straight away is we need to differentiate between, because everyone's come in for a different purpose, a different role. So if we look at, say, maybe the backdrop people, and then maybe and look at people that have come on as active souls to have this full-on video experience and do expanding. So can I break it into 2? Are you okay with that? Or you want me to do,
Yeah, you know better how the cards know what.
Yeah, well, I was just seeing then, it's going to really shift and change the percentages. So I can do it for all as well. So let's have a look and see.
Well, I was just thinking, out of the whole population on Earth, how many of them are hybrids?
Okay. Okay, so for everybody, for the whole population, about 50%.
Oh, okay.
So as we were talking about, though, we've got that hybrid genes as well. And then I'm just going to check in for maybe the soul aspects that have come through as an experience. So, okay, this is interesting. So about 20% that have come through as like a non-commissioned, they've been playing with that DNA. So, okay, and then for the star seeds.
So 20% meaning not non-hybrids. Is that what you're saying?
No, 20% are hybrids, or the DNA's been manipulated or whatever with the non-commissioned players or the backdrop people.
Oh,
so okay. Yeah. And let's have a look for star seeds. Yeah, about 80%. So that's why we have, I think, so much going on within us, within our DNA, and the ability to actually grow and expand so much.
So we're pretty much all star seeds, pretty much then.
So 80% of the star seeds. So it was 50% in total.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to break it up, because it's quite a different percentage for the different groups.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
let's see. I wonder if 2 souls agree to hurt or help each other before incarnation. What role plays the free will of each soul plays into the 3D realm? Okay. And I think we answered that in our first video.
Yeah. So
the life contracts.
So exactly. And what can also happen too is the free will is if someone chooses to not do it and the other soul chooses, they've evolved somehow, like their frequency, and they don't maybe need to experience that anymore. Mm-hmm. That definitely came through in our first video.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so it's so yeah, Queen of Pentacles so came up with that one. So this is, to me, this is it's like the emotional aspect or the wisdom coming through of creating something. So that Pentacle's sitting right in her lap and she's really contemplating it. So if someone has increased their frequency or gone through a shift and they actually don't need to experience that anymore, then that can change. So, and our free will can be compassion, and that in itself will expand us. And so it's completely up to each soul.
Yeah.
So it's contemplated by that person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So, and did we talk about if people can break their contracts? When, I don't remember if we asked that question. Once you're here on Earth, can you break that contract?
Yeah. I'll check again, but what I remember from what we did was that if we need to experience an emotion or we need to experience a particular scenario, it can happen any which way. It can change how. It doesn't have to be a particular way that it happens. It's actually the feeling. It's that experience. Oh, so let's just check in on that again, though.
Let's see if we've got.
Let me just grab a couple
We can
of
grab
these.
this question next.
Yeah, so if someone's blinded and they're just going through, their soul contract, and they're sort of, not really looking outside of their spectrum, or they haven't learnt the lesson, then it can go ahead. But if there's some wisdom that comes to them, if there's a message or help that has come to them, and they don't need to actually experience that, then that can change. So, yeah, and that's the Hierophant to me is spiritual authority. So that can actually come through and be changed. So,
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. So my understanding is, and maybe you can throw the cards on this, that if you break your contract, you will still have to learn that lesson some other way.
yeah. Yeah, Ace of Cups, emotional. Like I said, if you've been doing a lot of work with yourself and really increasing your frequency, and you're starting to remember and your DNA is being activated, you may not need to experience that, because
okay.
So this is what the Ace of Cups is telling me. So our emotions, this is like one of the most beautiful, highest cards. So you can actually almost dream yourself, like a butterfly, dream yourself into existence. So it just depends on what the contract was for, and what the outcome is meant to be. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's a hybrid question. I heard there are many hybrid children coming, but for what?
Or is that a misinformation?
Or is that misinformation?
Okay, so the cards that came up, so it's the Ace of Pentacles. So this is creation. So yes, there are hybrid children coming, but then again, let's look at what hybrid means. I mean, you look at us in our physical form now, human form, we're hybrid. So these children coming through, if their DNA's been activated, if they're running off, say, 6 double strands of DNA, they've got telepathy, they've got, all their intuition, everything's tapped in already. We'd call them hybrid, wouldn't we? Because that's not what we're used to. So yes, but they're already being born onto the earth. So that's a yes. And then it was the 7 of Swords. So it's like looking back, and he's holding 5 swords. So to me, that's the change has happened, and there's still a little bit more to go. So there is something coming through. It depends how we define that hybrid. So, yeah. And then the Queen of Cups. So this is looking at emotions, looking at where's our wisdom, where's our emotional aspect with these children, how are we going to be treating them? So because it's virtually like a whole different breed. They won't be able to tolerate the energy and environment that, has been on Earth on this lower density. So again, it's just like the first cards that we pulled around no judgment of them, and them helping us to expand as well. So we're taking bringing these beautiful hybrid children through as earthlings. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then it sounds like this is definitely true, and that they're
Depends
here
on the
to
definition, yes, of hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what the cards say about this question.
Who helped create the earth? Don't you love that? Okay, let's tune in. Haha. Love it. Let's get a few more. Oh. Amazing cards coming up. Okay, so the first cards that came up were the Lovers. So when the Lovers cards come up, it's very much around creation, and it's an internal process. So what I'm getting is that with this beautiful God, universal energy, we've actually helped create this earth. So, and the Ace of Pentacles has come up. So that's definitely, yes, we're a big aspect. So as energetic beings, you know, we would have come through that time when the earth was ethereal, and the time when it was crystallizing and forming. We would have been trees, we would have been rocks, we would have been everything. And what that did was gave us the ability as well to feel the earth, to know the earth, to have wisdom, because that Queen of Cups, again, it's around emotions. So if we've helped create this earth, this is why we love Earth so much, and we're so connected to Gaia, because we're part of that energy, we're part of that grid line. And we're like crystals are birthed through the grid lines of the earth because they come from the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so there's been a lot of input from a lot of different places, but we're part of that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that. So something I wanted to ask you, it's more of a personal question, but it has to do with being a hybrid. I have frozen feet, and the cold part of my leg, it goes up to like halfway through my calf. And from the literally halfway, my calf is healthy and warm. And from that half on to the all the way to the feet, frozen, just frozen meat. So is this because of being a hybrid?
Okay, let's check and see. Is it all the time, Elisa, or is it just occasionally you'll notice that?
It's whenever it's cold.
Yeah.
Outside, I can't seem to get my feet
warm. Okay, so I'm going to ask, is that the reason? Okay, so let's have a look here. All right, so the King of Swords has come up. Now, to me, when a king comes up, it's about mastery. So this is about, yes, you mastering your particular physical being, your DNA, everything that makes you a hybrid, and actually learning how to work with that on the earth. So it's about grounding it through more too. So I can't even see his feet. Normally I can see his feet and they're gone. So this is also about energetically grounding that through and mastering that aspect of you. So again, it's the Seven of Swords. So you've done work with this, but there's still some work to go. Okay, and the swords to me, so there's two swords. So this is air, this is your mind, this is your mental plane. So maybe you could do some work with your mental plane, actually seeing your feet grounding into the earth, and like a tree, roots going right into the earth and drawing up energy from it, and see if that will actually help to shift that energetic exchange. Now, the Eight of Cups has come up. So to me, this is walking away from a situation, and there could be emotion with it. Just getting something for you intuitively. And Jasper always jumps in, and he was going, because sometimes it's quite difficult to have different DNA here on Earth. And we have a little bit of a reluctance to be here as well. So, yeah. So it's like, what do we have to let go of? You're not going to believe this. The Hanged Man was sitting right on top as I said that, which is surrender. What do we surrender to when we actually are in a situation like this that is actually uncomfortable? And this might have been part of your soul contract. I want to just have a little bit of different DNA so I can have a whole different experience on Earth. But it's letting go of that aspect and trusting that where you are, it's safe. Yeah. So maybe start doing some work with that energetically. So
okay,
I'll have to run an energy session for you. We'll have to do that energy session, and we'll see what comes up for you.
yeah. So, what was the other thing? Oh, low blood pressure.
Yeah.
So ever since I can remember, I've had really low blood pressure, and the doctors, nurses always like, is that normal? Like, did you know you have low blood pressure? I'm like, yes. And then my temperature is always 97 degrees when it's supposed to be 98.
Okay.
So I'm wondering again if those are having to do with a hybrid in a human
Yeah.
body.
Okay. Yep. And one more. Okay, so the first card that came out was the Ten of Cups. I love this card because it actually means something's completed, something that's going to feel really good. Once you've accepted this aspect of you on Earth, that will actually start to change. Because I used to have really low blood pressure as well. And do you get heart palpitations at all? Do you get some irregularity in your heart sometimes
Very
as well?
rarely, but yes.
Okay, but yes, that's also light body symptoms. So as we're bringing in more of this frequency, it goes into that subatomic space within our cell and stuff has to be cleared out. So this is for you. I feel this is you're actually going towards something that's going to feel a lot better for you within your body. So your low blood pressure, because I've had it as well, it can also be just not needing that connection more to Earth and having more support and wanting to be here. So because the Tower came up next. So when it's aspected by a good card like that, it's great because it means there's going to be quite a quick change. So, yeah. So things are going to change for you around this.
Oh, okay.
So when it happens, when you have that beautiful mind change, the heart change, and the frequency change, then it changes physically as well. Look what else popped up again. So, yeah, we've got the Seven of Swords again, which is you've done a lot of work. It's just a little bit to go. So,
okay.
yeah, because my blood pressure still is not as low as it used to be. And I used to get heart palpitations and I knew it was energetic and I couldn't work it out. And a lot of it was because I needed to actually grid in to our energetic grid lines that are like meridians on the earth and bring through that energy and template it. So,
Okay.
cool.
Well, I really can't wait to heal this cold feet problem because I'm always wearing socks. I can't do anything. My feet are always covered. I always have covered feet, always,
Yeah.
because I'm always freezing, and
Yeah.
I know it has to do with the temperature, body temperature, and the blood pressure. So, but I
Yeah.
had heard other people have it. So that's why I asked, because I really thought it had to do with being a hybrid. But it sounds like it
It
is.
is in a
It is.
way. Well, it is. Yeah, it
Mhm.
is. It's just, it's often on a different level than what we expect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like you
So,
say, it's part. So I want to make sure I understand. And so you're saying that it's part of not accepting 100% that I want to be here on Earth.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's more underneath that as well. But we'll catch up. We'll do a private little session and look at that. But that's what I found for me. And I didn't even know. It was so subconscious. It was so deep. It was such a wound. I used to have, crazy story. I'd be at my friend's house and I'd be sitting there outside. They've got a beautiful outside area. They'd had chooks and they'd just be wandering around. These chooks would come and peck at my feet and I'm going, what are you doing? And I'd put covers over my feet and they'd still peck at my feet. And then I got this absolute download of, Maree, you're not grounded here on earth. And they're seeing you as something that they can actually peck at that's not the earth. It was the weirdest thing. And once I did the work with it and ran the energy and got more grounded and dropped into that, okay, I trust, I'm safe here on earth, I'm meant to be here, they stopped pecking at my feet. My friend used to crack up going, you're the only person I've ever seen them do this to. So there you go. So animals know whether we're grounded and connected or not.
Wow. Well, that's definitely not something that I had thought about. Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, I do try to ground every day, although I have not been so good at it lately, but yeah, that's interesting. So I hope this helps some people out there, because I know there's a lot of us, pretty much everybody, I think, that watches is going to be a hybrid. So
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah,
Go the
absolutely.
hybrids.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh,
so I can't
yeah.
think of any other questions that come to mind
No.
regarding hybrids.
No, I think we've covered it. Jasper was just laughing, saying he's a hybrid too, because he's a collection of beings that come through him. So, which is funny. But I just pulled a beautiful animal magic card as well to finish with. And interestingly enough, it was the Centaur. Now, the Centaur is the half man, half horse. And this is Chiron. So the planet of Chiron is the planet of our wounding. So Centaur went out and had to find his own healing modalities. And that's why our Chiron wounding is what our soul comes in with. So depending when we're born. So, yeah, so people might be actually getting triggered at the moment, going through shifts and changes. And we tend to go back to a particular patterning that our soul was born with, so we could master it and then come through with all the positivity and the gifts from that. I'm actually doing a post. I've been meaning to write it for ages, but I'm going to do a post on my website around that Chiron wounding as well. So, and how we can actually work with it a little bit more. So it's interesting that Chiron card came up today, because there's a lot of change. I think a lot of people are feeling a little bit, out of sorts and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but it's good.
yeah.
It means that we're going to actually expand more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And with that said, I really want to send everybody a lot of love, because there are a lot of us that are suffering, that we know that we shouldn't be getting that thing in the arm. And so a lot of us are the ones that are having to go through that experience of saying no and walking away and being strong and being brave. And sometimes it seems like it's the end of the world, but believe you me, quite often it is not. So it is that something more beautiful is waiting for you and you don't even know it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
just stay strong and just know that you are being taken care of and you will be taken care of. You just have to trust and leave the fear behind.
Yeah.
Really, that's what needs to happen. So
I agree. And we're all going through it in our own way, and whatever's happening. And it's an initiation. So you get through this and it's just like, wow, how amazing. So just, yeah, exactly what Elisa's saying. Just trust, go into God, universe, whatever you call it. And I get the words, I've got your back. So you just have to trust. It takes us right to the edge of the cliff. Okay.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're not
And
alone.
yeah, you're not. And I'm going to do a video about this because I think it's important for people to understand how this matrix works. So,
Yeah.
and Valentine, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for being part of the live chat, and for giving us your questions. We are grateful for you and for anybody else who watches the video afterwards. If you found this information useful, please share. That's kind of the idea behind these videos, is to just find more information out and to see what, to help others understand why we're here and why things happen the way they do. And so, again, thank you so much. If you can just, if you would like to support us, Marie's information is in the description. So is mine. And another way you can support us that doesn't cost anything is liking the video and sharing it and subscribing to the channel. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. We love you. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.